Hey everyone, Happy New Year. It's Dr. Jeff LaCure. Welcome to 2024. Welcome to the wake-up call. Very brief one today. I just want to give you a heads up of what to expect this year. And as many of you, I've been reflecting on 2023 and looking forward to 2024. And I thought to myself, I said, Self, what are we going to do for content for the wake-up call in 2024? And I want you to know originally my plan when I started the wake-up call was to really focus on sort of mental health, emotional health, physical health, and spiritual health. And I'm going to continue to do that. And what I realized, however, is, the title of my podcast is The Wake-Up Call. And I realize a lot of people's emotional and mental stress and distress is caused by the nonsense that's going on, whether it's in this state, whether it's in this country, or whether it's in the world. And I guess you can probably tell, I'll pat myself on the back. I'm a learned man. I know lots of educated people. I know lots of people who are in the know. And I'll leave it at that. And what I've decided to focus on this year for the wake-up call is to wake you up. Really wake you up to what's going on. That's my goal for you for 2024. I hope you'll spread the word. I have no other agenda here than to make sure you are informed by an educated man, by somebody who has a clue, and maybe most importantly, by somebody who actually cares, by somebody who actually pays attention. And right now in 2024, the focus is on dividing this country. It is on dividing the country in thought, in spirit, and in action. And I want to wake you up as to why that's happening. I'll talk about it a lot in future weeks, but I want you to understand, as individuals in our country, we are being played. We are flat out being played. It is not by mistake that our borders are wide open with thousands of people crossing every single day. People that aren't vetted. People that skip the line. See, I'm first generation. I didn't skip the line. My parents didn't skip the line. My parents were born citizens. I was not. But I didn't skip the line. They didn't sneak over. They did it the right way. And a few years after I arrived, guess what? I got my citizenship. So I sit here today letting you know I'm first generation. And I'm also sitting here today to help wake you up that some of the things we're going to talk about, we don't have a broken border. We have a very specific mindset by many of those in the financial swamp of our government and our institutions. And you notice I said financial, not political. We'll talk about that. We'll wake you up. There's a very specific agenda. And I'm going to talk to you about why it happens so that you can be informed. We will talk about this again because you guys don't listen. I can't tell you the amount of times over the Christmas season, over the last couple of weeks and New Year's, as you might expect, because I am a connoisseur of fine food, I've been out to eat. I've been enjoying my meals. I've been watching 2- and 3-year-olds on their cell phones. That's right, 2- and 3-year-olds on their cell phones. I've been watching them. I've been watching parents use the electronic devices to babysit their children. We will talk about why that happens. We will talk about what the agenda is behind it. We will talk about this fake narrative that we have a race relations crisis in this country. We just don't. We are the least, actually I want to be proactive. We are the most integrated, loving, caring, warm, and receptive country in the history of the world. In the history of the world. And I will talk to you later about why the phrase diversity makes us stronger is a profound sales job by the political and financial elite. I'll also help you understand the wake-up call that you don't have to respect diversity. Matter of fact, I don't want you to respect diversity. I want you to tolerate it. What I want you to respect is kindness, a good work ethic, regardless of people's skin color or country of origin. The hell do we keep looking at that for? But I will tell you why, but not today. I got to give you a little playful tease. We will talk about in the state of Massachusetts why the incidence of domestic violence has increased almost 50% since COVID. We will talk about why the vaccine will be, and we'll find it out this year, probably did more harm than good. We'll find it out. I'm just throwing it out there. I'll give you evidence, I promise. We will talk about why the vaccine actually probably really didn't work. How many people do you know that have gotten COVID that have had like 12 shots? The only thing it did was put a neurotoxin into their body. Now, I know YouTube's taking this down. There's going to be a little warning, right? Because free speech is toast now if you don't say certain things that fit a certain agenda. One of the things I will talk about is how George Floyd wasn't murdered. This will come out. This is already coming out. It gets squashed in the media. But the autopsy is cleared. He died from a fentanyl overdose. It's really, really clear. And that the policeman that was accused and convicted of murder actually used techniques that he was trained to do. And we look at the film now, and there's some other angles of the film, and his knee was not on his neck. His knee was on his shoulder blades, exactly where he was supposed to be. So we'll talk about why this kind of stuff is out there and what it's intended to do. And what I want to promise you is it is intended to do two things: to divide the country so that we don't talk about what's actually going on, right? Every day we lose more and more of our freedoms. Every day we lose more and more of our finances, right? And it is also designed to really keep us distracted in a larger arena, if you will, from what's going on globally. I'll talk to you about the absolute joke that electric cars are. The mindset behind them is really, really good. There's no question about it. I mean, if you can reduce carbon emissions, I don't think there's anybody who would be against that. But we got to talk about why it's really there. And again, we'll talk about the kids who mine all the elements that go into those batteries, right? We'll talk about all the people in power financially and politically who continue to fly in private jets. We'll talk about the fact that really for the first time in our history, or at least since the Civil War, we have states refusing to allow certain candidates to be on the primary agenda. See, in the land of the free, a state doesn't determine who's on the primary. The person who gets on the primary because they have filled out the proper forms, had enough signatures, they get on. And if you don't like that person, guess what? Don't vote for him or don't vote for her, aka Nikki Haley, bought and sold by big corporation. And remember, I'm a social and fiscal conservative. Notice I didn't say Republican. I don't attach myself to any political party because they're all dirty, but I am very conservative. I don't want anybody telling me what I should do with my freedoms. And I'm going to try to help you out so that you'll take back some of your freedoms. The freedom to decide, the freedom to vote for who you would like to, the freedom to do what you want with your money. Instead of, if you make a $600 deposit into your bank account, the IRS is notified. The fact that there is a movement to electronic currency so that your accounts can be shut off electronically. I can promise you right now, one of the best tips I'll give you for 2024, one of the best tips I will give you to wake up, because this is your wake-up call. Save your cash. Save it, dig a deep ditch, put it in a insect and dirt and moisture repellent container, and hide it. Because the IRS wants to take as much as they can, and they keep a track. Trust me, you all know somebody who's getting audited. Ironically, who's not getting audited? but the people in financial and political power who continue to make a lot of money. Case in point, every president, with the exception of President Trump, think of him what you want, I don't even care. It's not even part of the debate. Every president in the last 100 years left office with more money than they came in. How does that happen? How does that possibly happen? Wouldn't you love a job where your net income after 4 years like goes up 10 times? Sign me up for that gig, man. I've been doing the wrong field. I'm working in mental health. Love it. Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't work. I really don't work. It's such a beautiful, beautiful career. And you know, speaking of mental health, as you might expect, can't go into any detail because I have the utmost respect for the people I'm privileged to talk to, and I respect their privacy. But I could tell you there is a uniform sort of situation going on in people's lives, and they feel out of control. They feel out of control. And it came to a head when we got shut down. By the way, my dad always taught me, follow the money. Who made money during the China virus? See, I'm not calling it COVID. Originated in China. We call the Spanish flu because it originated, right? I'm not doing that. What's the thing when Lyme disease, right? Originated in Connecticut, right? I'm not going down that politically correct highway. It was the China flu. I'm not anti-Chinese. Oh, I'm anti being lied to. I'm anti-communism. I'm anti you treat your Uyghurs with great disrespect and like slaves. That I am. Certainly not anti-Chinese people. That would be me saying to you, I'm anti-middle class in this country, right? You can only do what you're allowed to do. And then most of our folks in China are wonderful people trying to do their thing. But those in the financial and political clout, you know what they're doing. So enough said. By the way, when I do my Bros Who Knows a little bit later today with Richie, we're going to be doing our predictions for 2024. Make sure you stay tuned. But I'll close it down with this. A lot of people's mental health still being greatly impacted. We still have suicide, depression on the rise for young people, particularly our sisters and our daughters. And we have to talk about why that's happening. And there's a lot of reasons. So I'm telling you in advance, my original focus of offering you this program has changed. It's going to be edgy. It's going to be timely. It's going to be provocative. But most importantly, it's going to be honest, and it is going to be wrapped in facts. I want to encourage you to stay tuned. I want to encourage you to bring family and friends into the Wake Up Call family. There's not a lot of psychologists out there doing what I'm doing, right? Most of them are going to try to take you down a different road. Not me. I'll just take you down the road of the truth. You can explore it. You can investigate it. You could email me. You could text me if you find anything different. You won't, because I'm only going to present you with facts. Facts that are irrefutable, facts that can't be denied. With that, stay tuned. I look forward to our wake-up call journey together. 2024 is going to be life-changing, more than just in your own life and your family's life, but in this country. Let's have some fun and do it together, and let's make sure we continue to fight for our freedom, to fight for democracy, and most importantly, let's take off our blinders. Let's support one another. Let's take care of one another. And let's salute kindness. On that beautiful note, this is Dr. Jeff LaCure, and this is the Wake Up Call. I'll see you soon.